This is a movie that falls in an odd category of the collective experience for the audience feeling bummed out. Not because the movie is poor in any way, but because it had all the ingredients to be a spectacle for the ages. The potential of this movie is what bums you out. There is a lot that has been said about Vijay Deverakonda in recent years, a man who has made a career from the ground up in Telugu cinema in an industry ruled by film families, making a name for himself, absolutely blasting in the scene with Arjun Reddy, and somewhat losing his focus along the way. Poor creative choices and rather abrupt statements off camera almost created a perception of the actor, having a constant baggage of what people think of him and never letting that go while he attempts to portray fictional characters. After the years of observing Vijay's career, this is for me, after Dear Comrade, a movie not many people love but I hold dear to my heart, looked the most exciting in his lineup. Of course, a lot had to do with the actor collaborating with Gautam Tinnanuri, who made Jersey, but my excitement was also due to the sheer spectacle that was being attempted. I don't know what it is, but I oddly always root for Vijay to somehow succeed in this industry, and seeing his look and what he had presumably dedicated to the role made me really want to cheer and hope for this storyline to click in all regards. It kind of breaks my heart that it's not all there, but let's break it down for all of you. There were no subtitles available for the Kingdom Telugu release, and I saw the one show near me that was dubbed in Hindi. The movie focuses on Suri, played by Vijay Deverakonda, who is a constable in the police force and is handed over an undercover operation that takes him to Sri Lanka. This operation is the main focus of the film that incorporates elements of family, espionage, a smuggling cartel, an oppressed tribe, and the trope of destiny and the chosen one. Yes, I think it's best that I keep it that vague, but there's a lot that the movie wants to focus on. So here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch Kingdom in theaters or not. Cinematography. This is hands down probably one of the most beautiful looking Telugu films I've seen in recent years, and this is another reminder to filmmakers what a profoundly different product you get when you are adamant in shooting in real locations versus finishing an entire movie on a green screen set in Bandra. I mean, the first thing that people ask me, because of my conflicting feelings about this film, is whether one should watch it on the big screen, and I kid you not, its frames are meant for the big screen experience. The cinematographers Girish Gangadharan and Jumonty John have done an absolutely spectacular job in transporting us to the locations of Hyderabad, Vishakhapatnam, Kerala, and especially Sri Lanka. I was in awe of several of the frames, whether it be the drone footage of the tribesmen escaping on their motorboats or the overhead shots that capture the chaos in the jail where Suri is trying to familiarize himself with the gang. It's truly a painting in every regard. This wide shot of a jeep engulfed in flames, or this one that I can't shake from my memory as one sees the aftermath of war, it's such a sight to behold. I must say though that I have a slight problem with the movie integrating shots of clear AI prompts in two sequences which are glaringly obvious. Other than that, it's a feast visually. Even though I was not a fan of the chosen one trope that they have utilized in this film, something I believe the maker should really get over because it seems to be a forced integration in every major plot point, but the sequences featuring the same again look absolutely majestic. Speaking of which, too many cooks spoil the broth. The brilliance of a storyteller like Gautam Tinnanuri is that he doesn't need much to engage you. Think about Jersey for a second and wonder whether it is plot heavy in any regard. It is a very simple underdog story, but what makes it special is the visceral emotional journey that Gautam took us on, especially anchored beautifully by Nani. In Kingdom, however, it seems like Gautam is somewhat burdened by the scale at which the film needs to be presented. In order to almost justify the opulence of it all, there seems to be an integration of way too many elements without diving deep on any one of them, leaving you wanting for a lot more from the characters, but the screenplay just spreads itself too thin. I mean, you've got a very half-baked dynamic with Vijay and Bhagyashree. They barely get any time for you to even care about their dynamic. You've got the brotherly bond in the forefront, but they are so riddled in conflict of what they are dealing with in Sri Lanka that we don't even get the aching feeling of what they left behind. The flashback sequence to present their bond with the trauma that they endured is a mere montage-like situation versus a deep connection. You've got the mission at hand and espionage at play, but the person in charge seems so lost in what he wants to execute, almost seeming like he is improvising his way throughout the mission. And finally, the case of Destiny is extremely half-baked, never really making you have this eureka moment of having all of this come together. There were just too many elements and not enough depth in each one. Musical score and an impressive antagonist. We speak about the fatigue of so many people and their appearances in the film industry, on how the output of artists often becomes stale when they work in too many projects together. And hey, let's be fair, there are times Anirudh seems to be submitting the discarded files folder for some movies, but he absolutely shines in Kingdom. I can't necessarily say anything about the songs because in the Hindi dub they fail to have any impact, but my god does the score have its own presence in this film. The operatic score that plays as he screams like a war cry in the jail, the main theme that plays when one considers him to be the hope that can bring the brighter days. There is a melancholic piano tune that Anirudh contributes to the heartfelt moments shared between the brothers, and I must say, he just knows the commercial pulse of what elevates the core conflict you are dealing with. Another score associated with the character that left a lasting impression was Murugan, played by Venkatesh, the only supporting character in my opinion who actually elevated the stakes and made the film exciting. Whenever he featured on screen, you knew something unhinged or unpredictable was going to happen. He somewhat reminded me of Shine Tom Chacko and the brilliance he brings to somewhat insane characters. There is this simmering anger and psychotic smile he consistently projects that made him so engaging to watch, losing logic and focus in subplots. As I previously said, there are several subplots that barely get the luxury to breathe, hence there isn't a deep connection you feel with them. While this is mainly true for Bhagyashree because she is severely cut in the final edit, a song featuring both the leads doesn't even feature in the final edit. But with the case of Satyadev, who plays Siva, Suri's estranged elder brother, it almost seemed like the actor was incapable to provide us an idea of what Siva's conflicting feelings may be. Even in the most dire circumstances, Satyadev has a very stoic expression, and it never allowed me to feel the bond between him and Suri. While the subplots are many, there are also cases where you just scratch your head and start to wonder. Some of these ideas just lack absolute logic. Manish Chaudhary, playing the presiding officer, has absolutely no idea what is happening. Man is just holding on to scraps for some control, but if you were to wonder about who he has sent on the mission, it's rather naive of him to believe nothing can go wrong. There is also a bridge sequence that turns into a shootout where it felt like the Sri Lankan army was truly the most incompetent in getting its one target while being present at an arm's distance. In this sequence specifically, you will also wonder that there could have been a way more peaceful way to pass by with the intel that Suri had. The film essentially seems like a derivative of many films, especially The Tribes of Devara and The Prophecy of Retro, and one sequence specifically that reminded me of the Game of Thrones. If you ask me personally, I think it does a way better job than the screenplay of most of these films, other than Game of Thrones, because that just can't be replicated. Vijay Deverakonda. The reason why I feel gutted on why Kingdom is not entirely a home run is because Vijay truly, and I kid you not, acted his socks off in this film. The man brought an urgency and sensitivity of a timid younger brother. Whenever the prospect of reuniting with his brother was brought up, he can't help himself but be teary-eyed, wanting a hug for the years of abandon and hollowness that exists within. This is especially praiseworthy because Vijay is built like a beast in this film. A beast that towers over everyone, a beast that has people parting like the Red Sea as he moves towards his target. He is sensitive, volatile, full of rage and vengeance, and I could not help but be absolutely blown away when he goes unhinged in the final minutes of this film. The man was in his element with his blood-soaked face, wanting the world to burn, and this, in my opinion, was his most nuanced and anchored performance of his career. And it was not one tone at all, but captured an evolution, showcasing all shades under the sky. And this is what bums you out about this film especially. This is a phenomenal Vijay performance that needed a storyline with a more centered focus. I could not help but feel gutted because you see the effort in the beautiful frames, you see a leading man in such fine form, but the emotional beats are just too surface level for it to be a spectacle everyone will rave about. I wish it didn't have the pressure to integrate so much because the ingredients were right there. I wish it didn't feel the pressure to have a part 2. Another trend that needs to be truly scrapped away at the earliest. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about Kingdom. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.